Greetings, friends. Whew. This is that time of year when you have to give yourself a little bit more of a pep talk to get going in the morning, just because you're starting to get a little bit tight and a little sore at times from the long days we're putting in here with all the different things that we have going on the homestead. But it's not the time to stop, because we gotta keep moving, gotta keep growing, gotta keep doing. So we got a number of things going on today. So let's get started. One of the things I was noticing this morning is check out our micro tomatoes. They don't look that hot right now, probably because we've had some inconsistencies with water. Mostly they've been getting water from the rain, so maybe we need to wash that a little bit more. But we do have our first ripe tomato. It's pretty close, right here. First one on the homestead this year. Pretty exciting. So that's pretty neat. This is our first year growing these, so I'll just kind of watch them a little bit more, try to tend to them a little bit more, and hopefully we're gonna get some more. Hopefully this is just the beginning. And these aren't the only tomatoes that we're growing here. We also have tomatoes that we have growing in our greenhouse, which they're looking really good. And we also have tomatoes that are growing in our high tunnel. Speaking of that, let's head over there, because just not too long ago, I think it was like the other day or something like that, we were pruning and harvesting, getting a little bit of harvest from the cucumbers that we have growing in our high tunnel. And let's just check out and see how they look, because we had a number of them that were on the vine that weren't quite ready to be harvested, but they were really close.
Before you head to the high tunnel, can you help me flip this water trough over?
Sure. What do we need to do that for?
Remember Hazen put the bee stuff underneath it to keep it dry the other day, but we need to make sure it's dry, so we want to uncover it.
Sure, so let's head back over here before we head up to the high tunnel. This is our galvanized water trough. That's what it's called, right? We haven't had a chance to use it quite yet. I've been wanting to use it as like a place to do cool baths, or we could just kind of hop in here when we get a little too hot, and maybe even for some baptisms, but we haven't used it yet. But we've been using it right now as a cover over
These are frames for our new bar beehive. We have a nuke over there, and we feel like we need to really upgrade our bees to a bigger hive. So this is what we're gonna do hopefully today.
We have so many things going on today. And speaking of bees, actually yesterday I was weed eating and I got a little bit close to the beehive, and they didn't like it, and it got stung right there in the mouth. So maybe they're trying to tell me, you need to be quiet, man. So today is another jam-packed day full of activity, as you're probably about to get ready to see. So we're just gonna set these on top so they can air out. Flip this back over. Set these on top. There we go. Hopefully we'll get to that later. Well, we just have a visitor. Someone arrived. Something else that we have going on today. So, not seeing the cucumbers quite yet. Let's head on over here and see what's going on over here.
How's it going?
All right, how are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
I put that on there. It was raining almost most of the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna set this right here.
It didn't rain at all here. All right, before we let him out, tell me the story about what was happening. I gotta hear this stuff.
So Saturday morning, I was making breakfast. I always make breakfast on Saturday mornings. I get up early before everybody so I can have my alone time.
Yeah.
And so I'm making bacon and eggs, and Miranda comes downstairs and making coffee, and she always looks outside the door just to make sure everything's going well. And she's looking at the garden to make sure nothing's getting in, looks up and makes sure the flowers are still good because we got deer trotting through. She's like, where's Bucky? I don't know what you want to call him, but his paperwork says Bucky. I don't care.
We'll keep Bucky.
Yeah. So she's like, where's Bucky? I said, he's laying in his house. He's fine. So she comes back to me and she says, no, where's Bucky? Because it's daylight out now and the sun usually hits the side of the building, and he liked to go out and get warm, I guess. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, you keep stirring the eggs and the bacon and I'll be right back. So I'll walk out there and get to the little place and it's like, oh no, he's not here. Mm-hmm. And he's like I said, he's halter broke. Yeah. And I had him on a chain. because I wanted to move him around because he was sick, didn't want him in his own area, just wanted to keep moving him. And anyways, when that happened, his chain was gone, his collar was gone, and he was gone.
Wow.
And then I seen bear tracks behind him.
Oh man.
And I said, oh no, because there's been some big bears. Last year, there was a guy about 3 doors down, which is way down the road, 3 doors down, that got attacked by a bear.
Oh wow.
In the ridge that I was walking in.
Wow.
So I was over there trying to get all of that taken care of, try to find him and stuff, and then I found bear tracks all around, and I'm looking, and they were about 5-inch bear tracks, so he was probably 5 or 6 foot tall by tracking it. And anyways, I seen a collar and a leash, the tracks of that dragging up through the woods, and I was like, oh man. And I seen tracks behind him, and I said, oh no. And I said, Mike and Lacey's gonna kill me. I said, I have to go tell Miranda. So I went back in, and I was like, he's not there, and there was bear tracks behind him. And she kind of looked at me and she started crying. And I was like, because I didn't know. We've never had any problems with the goats. With chickens and other things, we've had problems with the bears. But, you know, as far as that goes, and then I go looking for him for hours. And I walk all the way upside this mountain, and I go through these waterfalls that I've never even been through before, and I just walk back and forth looking for him all Saturday.
Oh man.
Yeah. And so I get back to the house, and I'm like, I can't find him. And I go probably a couple miles all through up there, and I'm like, I can't find him anywhere. And I'd stop and look for him, and nothing. And I tracked him for a while, and then and it just disappeared. The trail disappeared.
Wow.
And so then I come home, I take a break. Keslin and I, my little girl, we go looking for him in the truck, and go down this little private road to the side of our house. Nothing over there. It was in the opposite direction. And then Brenda said, I'm gonna call my mom, and maybe you and my sister can go look. So she called her, came over. Her and my let's see. Everybody stayed at the house, and me and Kayleen went looking for him. And sure enough, he wasn't making a sound. He wasn't doing anything. That was the weirdest thing. I think he was just scared. What happened was he was like everywhere around my house. I have this like 75-foot circle, and everywhere there is just a drop off.
Wow.
So he was literally on the opposite side of the house, about 50 foot down in a drop off. Tied.
Oh, wow.
He was tied around like a wild rose bush, and he was just sitting there. Wasn't bellowing, wasn't saying anything. I was looking at him. He wasn't hurt. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad I guess the bear left him alone, just wanted to be a nuisance.
Wow.
Because there was a trail behind him, and I got the video footage of it, and like,
wow, poor guy.
Yeah, so he's been a little scared the past few days.
Yeah. I'd be scared too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bear.
So he's looking around, and so I told Miranda, I said, that's it. I'm leaving the lights on every night until he goes to Mike and Lacey's house. And so I did. I left all the floodlights on outside, and I said, we got to put the bird feeders up for now. We have to get all this stuff done.
Oh man. Well, let's get him out.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll like it.
Here.
Dude.
He's like, what is going on?
Come on. Want some of this?
Oh yeah, I just put sunflowers in. You guys feed them sunflowers?
Yeah.
Yep. Come on, you gotta come get it. It's here. A little bit more. A little bit more.
I don't know about that.
Oh, he's a little timid. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Come on. I'm not a bad guy as long as you stay in the pen.
He'll
And
jump
take them
down.
off. He will.
Just pull a little bit.
I just found out the stress in my first encounter together. I don't want to pull him too much.
Oh, please do not jump on me.
Come on, you got it. It's here. Come on. He's coming down. He's thinking about it. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. Come on. A little bit more.
Told you to pull him.
Sometimes in life you need a little push. All right, Josiah, if you would man the power cord over there.
Yeah, that's funny. His hair got blow dried on the way here. I looked back at there, I was like, oh, he's fine.
Come on, the girls are over here. You like to go where the girls are.
Yeah, I'd want to be there too. How about we switch?
Good idea.
Put a little more muscle here.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can. So we introduced Bucky to the ladies, and it went okay actually. It went really well. Alex, thanks so much for visiting again. You guys didn't really see the first time he was here, but
yes.
I actually had the opportunity to be on his channel, so now he's on our channel this time.
Yep.
So make sure you check out his channel.
Wendy Brook Ridge with Miranda and Alex.
And I'm actually planning to come visit his place sometime soon because he's got a really neat operation going with all the different flowers and things that he's growing. So
they're about this high at the moment.
Really
They're
want to see
starting
that.
bloom. That's awesome.
So we'll have to check him out. So make sure you check out his channel after you're done watching this video for sure, and then go check out his channel.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's gonna love the snake plant.
What was that?
She's gonna love the snake plant. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, now that Alex is gone, it's time to get back to the cucumbers. Let's try it again. You want to pick some? Well, come on, let me show you. Oh, there's a big one right there in front of you, Micah. See that one?
Yep.
Yep. Good job. Check out all these cucumbers here, guys. They are growing like crazy. That looks good. That's pretty exciting, isn't it, Micah?
Yeah.
So we're getting a bunch of cucumbers. A little bit more than I thought. And we still have to harvest from this row right here that Lacie is pruning the cucumbers here that we didn't get to the other day. And it has cucumbers that we need to harvest from as well. So we're gonna finish harvesting the cucumbers, and it looks like I'm gonna have to put them in the bigger basket that I also brought over here. And then I'm gonna hop down and help out Selah, Josiah, Micah, and our nephew, TJ, with pulling up weeds from the garden bed. So, like I said, we're a little all over today. Don't attack me. Don't attack me. Y'all are doing a great job. So one of the things that I've really been thinking of more and more, especially after the talk that Lacie and I had with Neethi, is growing things for our animals. And just thinking about growing a lot of the greens, especially things like lettuces. Like in years past, that wouldn't have been a focus for people growing food, just because lettuce is not really nutrient dense. I'm not saying you can't get any benefits from lettuce, because there is benefits to consuming a variety of things. But lettuce wouldn't have been one that they would have spent a lot of their space in their garden, nor a lot of their energies in growing, especially for themselves. So as we still have a CSA that we're operating here, but it's a lot smaller than it used to be. And one of the things, crops that I'm really just kind of analyzing that we're growing right now is lettuce. So we're gonna take this grass unwanted plants, weeds that we've pulled up in these beds where we were growing different things. And then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna take out some of the old lettuce that we have and we're gonna feed it to the goats and see how Bucky likes it. So we got Bucky, and now we need Captain America, don't we?
It's more sweet than bitter.
Alright, we were just weeding this area yesterday in this first bed here, and things have gotten so overgrown, as you can probably see from what we are pulling out of here, that I didn't think that we were going to get a harvest from it, but we actually did. We actually got a pretty good harvest of beets from this bed here, but we did get a harvest of unwanted plants as well. And we were pulling them out by hand, and pulling them out by hand, and pulling them out by hand, and pulling them out by hand. But we finally got the job done. And then what had grown there, we took that and we took it down to the ducks, and they just absolutely loved having it to eat on. So it just shows things that grow can benefit, even if they're not delicious or delightful to you, that something on a homestead can benefit from it. If you're setting up different systems, creating a system with your homestead, with the garden, with the animals, and figuring out a way for everything to work together, for everyone to benefit, you too. Well, we're gonna go ahead and harvest this lettuce here for the goats, because it's gotten older, not as flavorful, a little bitter. You still like to eat it though, I'm not sure why. So we're gonna harvest this lettuce, crop it out, and take it to the goats and see how Bucky likes lettuce. Alright, so what we're doing is we're cutting off the tops, the greens, and we're going to give those to the goats. And then what's down below, we're going to pull out the roots, and we'll feed that to the chickens, which has the dirt and everything, some bugs in there, and we don't want the goats eating that. But chickens, since they're lower to the ground, they're already naturally eating some of these things. Alright, so we got a good pile here for the goats, and growing the lettuce in the landscape fabric really does help with suppressing a lot of the weeds around it, so you can have cleaner harvest with your lettuce. And I've been doing that for the past couple years, but I've really been motivated here recently to kind of start doing away with the landscape fabric and using stuff like leaf mulch and maybe like grass clippings as a mulch instead, because the landscape fabric's job is to help moisture stay inside the soil, to protect the plant, especially during times of drought and things like that, as well as to, like I mentioned before, to suppress the weeds around it. However, I think that the leaves and grass clippings, a mulch, a natural mulch, can do the same job, but actually leave some organic matter behind. So it's something I want to start doing more of and just thinking about. But let's get these to the goats. Squat with your legs, pick up. Meh. Meh. Look at there. They're enjoying it. Yummy, yummy. Bucky's over there though, just hanging out in the trees. Everybody else is. You need your own pan? Are they bullying you around? Yeah, these two right here tend to bully everyone else that you just saw right there. And I'm hoping Bucky can kind of calm that down, but right now he's just hanging out over there. But I'm gonna get another pan, kind of divide it so those girls aren't beating up the rest of them and bullying them around and get what they want. All right, there we go. Now we got some others eating. Even Bucky's coming over this time. There we go. That's what I like to see. Now, Bucky, you don't let those ladies push you around now over there. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right, Josiah, turn the fence back on. They'll work it out. So finally, we have an adult male goat here on the homestead. And hopefully he'll help the ladies produce some babies for us too. And maybe even some milk for us to enjoy too. But we'll all just have to stay tuned and see what happens.